Matthew Perry made us laugh as Chandler Bing on Friends, but was he hiding inner turmoil that led to his shocking premature death? Matthew Perry brought joy to millions as Chandler Bing on Friends, but behind the scenes battled private pain that led to his devastating early death. Welcome back to Let's Talk Celeb. Let's dive into it. The entertainment world was shocked by the sudden loss of actor Matthew Perry at just 54 years old. Though only in his early 50s, Perry had battled addiction issues for decades. His untimely passing left fans heartbroken, as well as his close friends and co-stars from the iconic sitcom that made him a household name, Friends. Perry was born in Williamstown, Massachusetts in 1969 and raised in Ottawa, Canada. He discovered a love of acting in high school and moved to Los Angeles when he was just 15 to pursue his Hollywood dreams. Early small roles in TV shows like Growing Pains and films like A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon hinted at his talent for comedy. But it was scoring the part of Chandler Bing on Friends in 1994 that catapulted the young actor to worldwide fame. As 1/6 of the tight-knit friend group at the heart of the NBC sitcom, Perry's Chandler became a beloved character. Known for his self-deprecating humor, goofy charm, and offbeat rapport with roommate Joey Tribbiani, played by Matt LeBlanc, Chandler was a quintessential 90s sitcom character, and Matthew brought him to life masterfully. Though playing the comedian, in real life, Perry was plagued by inner demons. Even at the height of his fame on Friends, he was hiding a painful secret from the public, a years-long addiction to alcohol and opioids. What fans didn't realize was that while delivering his funny lines as Chandler every week, Perry was often drunk or high on Vicodin, struggling with the pressures of fame. His fluctuating weight from season to season was a visible sign of his internal battles. Only Perry's closest friends and confidants knew the severity of his substance abuse. For a decade, he managed to keep his addictions under wraps. But by 2004, when Friends ended after a wildly successful 10-year run, Perry's problems were threatening to spiral out of control. Tabloids began reporting on Perry's troubles: rehab visits, hospitalizations, a years-long dependence on drugs and alcohol. Gone was the fresh-faced sitcom star that America fell in love with. Now Perry's gaunt appearance and slurred speech betrayed his chronically relapsing disease. Post-Friends, Perry's addiction only worsened, despite multiple attempts at sobriety. In 2018, gastrointestinal perforation from opioid overuse nearly killed him, requiring emergency surgery and weeks in the hospital. It seemed the close brushes with death still weren't enough to keep Perry clean. After that harrowing health scare, some believed Perry had finally hit rock bottom. For a time, he kept a low profile, hoping to quietly rebuild his life away from fame's pressures. But the damage done from decades of addiction proved too steep to overcome, which made the shocking news of Perry's sudden death in late 2022 all the more tragic. At just 54, he was found lifeless in his Los Angeles home after years of drug and alcohol abuse had finally taken their toll. An autopsy would rule his passing the result of an accidental overdose. But while the official cause was clear, the grief left behind in Perry's wake was far more complex. Because to the public, he wasn't just Matthew Perry, he was Chandler Bing, the beloved character that made him famous. For 10 years, fans invested in Chandler's journey more deeply than most celebrities they'd never met. So the loss wasn't just another Hollywood tragedy, it felt like the death of a dear friend. Millions who grew up watching Friends felt an intimate bond with Matthew Perry through Chandler. His passing represented the loss of their youth for an entire generation. Nowhere was the grief more acutely felt than by Perry's closest friends, his co-stars for 10 years and beyond. Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Matt LeBlanc, and David Schwimmer were utterly devastated by the news. They knew firsthand the severity of Matthew's struggles, both the incredible highs of fame and the gutting lows of watching him battle inner demons. They had desperately hoped Perry could overcome his addictions. In the end, drugs and alcohol had gripped him too tightly. But rather than dwell on their friend's tragic end, his former castmates chose to remember Matthew's spirit, the humor, talent, and kindness underneath the layers of pain. At Perry's private funeral at Forest Lawn Cemetery weeks later, there was certainly immense sorrow. But his friends' co-stars also shared funny memories and moving tributes about the man they knew and loved for so many years. Each spoke through tears about their favorite moments with their departed friend. They reminisced about both his brilliance as an actor and his warmth as a person when not tormented by addiction. Jennifer Aniston gave a touching eulogy, remembering Matthew's welcoming nature when she joined the Friends cast and how his sense of humor helped calm her nerves. Courtney Cox also gave a tearful speech, calling Matthew like a brother to her after playing his on-screen love interest and wife. She marveled at his comedic skills and promised she would keep her fake wedding ring from their show forever. David Schwimmer remarked on Matthew's big heart underneath the sarcasm and how he brought true depth to Chandler's relationships with friends like his best pal, Joey. For his part, Matt LeBlanc shared hilarious memories of behind-the-scenes antics with Matthew between takes on Friends. He remarked how Perry could always make him laugh no matter how long a day of shooting had been. Lisa Kudrow told charming stories of nights spent chatting with Matthew in his dressing room in between scenes as they got to know each other as friends, not just co-workers. She was endlessly impressed by the person he was behind the camera. The remembrances were at turns heart-wrenching and joyful, a bittersweet chance to remember Matthew Perry as his loved ones knew him best, not as a troubled celebrity who met a tragic end, but as a kind soul and rare talent taken too soon. In the end, there are no easy answers for why someone as gifted and beloved as Matthew Perry could make wealth and fame look so hollow. But his courageous fight against addiction in the public eye helps shed light on substance abuse as the complex disease it is. Millions of fans worldwide still mourn the loss of a man that felt like a longtime friend, thanks to his 10 years as the unforgettable Chandler Bing. But Perry's legacy lives on through the laughs he gave us and the awareness he raised. Wherever Matthew Perry is now, his memory remains alive in the hearts of those who love him and the iconic character he brought to life. Though gone too soon at just 54, the world is thankful for the bright light he shared while he was here. May he finally rest in peace. Now that Matthew Perry is gone, will the laughter he brought us as Chandler Bing echo louder than the silence left by his devastating death? Can Matthew Perry's tragic end shine an urgent light on addiction's darkness that future stars might avoid a similar fate? Let me know in the comment section. And if you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to Let's Talk Celebs for more insight videos about celebrities.